One of my favorite franchises of all time is Lilo and Stitch. It's one of the most enjoyable series ever. Alongside The Lion King, this is one of Disney's best. The one part of the franchise that everyone loves is of course the first film, and while I agree it's good, it's not my favorite of the franchise. The characters can be too harsh, and the dialogue and execution can be cringe at times. But the animation is good, the climax is awesome, and the heart is still strong and infectious. It's a good movie and I do like it, but it's not really the masterpiece everyone makes it out to be. In my opinion, the true best movie of the franchise is the second movie. I know this is a bit of a hot take considering many think this is the weakest in the franchise and has plot holes that never get filled, but I think this movie is extremely underrated and has the right amount of heart and drama and is one of my favorite Disney sequels. So today let's talk about why Lilo and Stitch 2 is an underrated gem. Now the story of the film is Stitch is living life after the events of the first film and shortly after the series' first season. But all of a sudden he starts to glitch out and act like he did in the first, when he was still destructive and chaotic. This causes a lot of tension between Lilo and Stitch as well as the rest of the Ohana, and it's up to Jumba and Pleakley to find out what's causing Stitch to glitch and fix him before it's too late. The story is not as epic and big as the first film, but it's still an enjoyable film with a lot of sweet and charming moments. Although it sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the other installments due to its simplistic setup, it still carries the heart, weight and strong emotional core of the first. As for the characters, they are still as lovable and endearing as they were in the original. Lilo and Stitch are great characters. Lilo is not as much of a brat as she was in the first, which is good, yes, very good. Stitch is lovable with quirky, hilarious personality and has a lot of cute moments with Lilo. Even though he glitches and starts to cause ruckus, you still sympathize with Stitch and want him to get better. Jumba and Pleakley are funny together as always. They have a lot of emotional back and forths too. Jumba expressing his disappointment in failing to build his recharging machine for Stitch to get cured, and Pleakley giving him an inspirational speech really got me and inspired me to never give up even when I fail. Nani and David aren't as important here as they were in the other movies. There is a subplot about David trying to make Nani jealous, but that's not really interesting. They're fine in the movie, but not that important to the plot. Characters like Gantu, Grand Councilwoman and Cobra Bubbles aren't in this one for some reason. Maybe because this movie is more simple and not super focused on being a grand installment. But their lack of presence is severely felt. Characters like Moses and Myrtle are the exact same as they were in the first. Moses is dismissive of Lilo just like before, and Myrtle is still a whiny bully just like in the first. These characters have not changed for better or for worse. The animation for this movie is amazing and colorful. This is equal in quality to the first film. If you took a clip from this one and put it in the first, I couldn't tell the difference. It's that good. The animation in the show and other sequels isn't bad. At least not Hunchback 2 or Atlantis 2 bad. But they are not feature film quality. This however looks and feels like animation from a theatrical movie. Seriously Disney, you put the wrong Disney sequels in theaters. You should have released this. The Lion King 2 and 1.5 and Cinderella 3 in theaters. The animation is seriously too good for a direct-to-DVD release. It's expressive, the movements are great and the colors really pop out. The watercolor backgrounds that give the illusion of a painting are still really well done. Best looking animation in the series. The heart is very strong in this movie, especially in the climax, as when Stitch shuts down and Lilo cries over him and hugs him tightly is just so adorable and heartfelt and emotionally powerful. Now this is the biggest criticism of this movie. Stitch coming back to life doesn't make sense and nobody explains how it happened when they got him into the machine just seconds before he shut down. But I think when they got him into the machine, it kept the last bit of power in him, and when Lilo expressed her love for Stitch and hugged him tightly, it jolted his heart and his power came back. I get why people get confused about this scene, but honestly it's not that hard to figure out, and I don't think that warrants hate for this movie. Overall guys, Lilo and Stitch 2 is a touching and endearing movie. It's a great follow-up to Lilo and Stitch. It makes you care about Lilo and Stitch and keeps you engaged in the story, and it's got a lot of memorable moments that still make me happy to this very day. I absolutely recommend this movie to any animation fan or Lilo and Stitch fan. This movie is very underrated, and in my opinion deserved to go to theaters just like the first. It's a very enjoyable, heartwarming family film and a movie I watch time and time again. It's really impressive that there is not one single bad Lilo and Stitch movie in the franchise, and this franchise is truly one of Disney's best, and Stitch is one of the best Disney characters of all time. Lilo and Stitch 2 is truly an underrated gem. Anyways guys, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.